Charles Marsala is with us. He's a former mayor, and he's also the author of Monumental Heist. And Charles, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jeff. Thanks for having me here.
So Monumental Heist, that really says it all, doesn't it?
You know, it's so true. I published the book as an ebook about a year ago because I wanted to document certain things. And now we have documents that actually validate what we were talking about. Did you know Beauregard was taken down and it was put in storage in a scrapyard?
Well, 4 monuments were taken down.
Four
correct?
monuments were taken down. And I focused on the theme that Mitch Landrieu was going to write a restrictive bid to get those monuments perhaps to a campaign donor. And that was the idea of the book. Well, now we've added another twist in that actually the Beauregard statue wasn't even owned by the city. And it was actually owned by the monument groups that put it up.
We're showing our viewers where it's being stored right now, correct?
Yes.
Which looks like with a bunch of old broken down cars.
The emergency maintenance yard is where they put it.
Okay. And so who actually owns it?
So I just got an email that I've been trying to, it took me 6 months to get out of City Park, where their communications director says that they had their attorneys review it twice and concluded that City Park doesn't own it. There's a letter from 1905 that shows that they tendered the land to the monument groups to erect the monument. And in 1908, they passed a motion saying they were tendering it for free, which could be seen as a lease in perpetuity for free. So those monument groups actually would own it.
So you want some of these groups to come forward and claim the monument?
Yes. Our city park to also recognize and make public what their findings were. The minutes that we've seen in the last 4 years, they never published the findings of their attorneys. So why wouldn't there be a staff report that says, this is what we learned?
What about the other monuments? What are the options there?
Well, we're looking at this Steamboat Museum that's up in Darrow. It's 50 miles from here. And Billy Nungesser has been out recently talking about this. I think that's a great solution. It's 28,000 square feet. There's going to be stuff already there about the Robert E. Lee Steamboat, which won the great race in 1870 with the Natchez.
And we have some pictures to show the viewers about that. Okay.
So it would fit in perfectly in that theme where you don't make it about the Confederacy or anything. It's about the whole 1700s and 1800s and what the river meant to Louisiana. And Lee was known as the man who tamed the Mississippi in the 1830s.
And this looks like a bunch of, potentially incredible images there. It could be associated with, this important part of our history. What about those, though, Charles, who say it should be kept in New Orleans?
The idea right now, the political climate is not there. And this would actually be set up as a loan for like 10 years. So you could look at the later, after 10 years, what do we do with it? They've been in storage for 2 years. It's time to move, to do something.
Right.
This museum is finishing construction probably by the end of March and will open in the fall. So why not go ahead and get them there while we still try to resolve this issue? But I don't see a place in New Orleans where they're going to go. The ordinance said they had to go indoors, such as a museum. That's clause 1.
Is there room in this museum for these monuments?
Yes, it's measured. The museum is 28,000 square feet.
Okay.
The height is tall enough. It's got 20-foot tall ceilings. Had they known in advance, they might have made some of the areas taller, but still the monuments are about 17 feet tall. Okay. So they'd fit in there. It goes in with the theme of it. It's almost like a windfall for New Orleans in solving this because it's 50 miles out of town. For those that want to see the monuments out of town, it's gone.
Right.
For those that want them, they're in a nice place.
Place for them to see them.
Absolutely.
The other idea that had been bandied about was to bring the Jefferson Davis statue to Beauvoir in Mississippi.
Well, why not let Louisiana benefit? Billy Nungesser has done great for tourism. It's up tremendous percentage points. This facility is outside of Baton Rouge, so people going in Baton Rouge can enjoy it. Jefferson Davis actually brought the railroads to New Orleans. So by keeping it in here, you also have state law, which kind of prohibits transferring it out of state.
As you say, the political climate is such that it seems like the mayor doesn't want to do anything about them. So how is this going to happen?
Well, I think LaToya, as like she said, and I agree with her, she said she inherited a platter full, not a plate full from Mitch Landrieu.
Yeah.
So right now she's had her hands full, sewage and water board, police chief, numerous other issues to address. Right. And I think she's had this to learn about because the law is in place that she has to make sure she does the right thing. Right. I think it's taken her some time to figure out a path.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your persistence on this, and I think a lot of people would like to see something happen with them. And this is at least one idea, and it's certainly something that I think is viable.